Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about treat relationships like investments. So the reason I'm doing this video is to share some information on a common problem that I'm seeing in relationships. And that is when one person is committed to the relationship and the other isn't. So I'm going to share the dangers of continually investing in a relationship when the other person couldn't care less. So I have a good email here from Cassandra, who just so happens to be going through a similar issue. She says, "Hi Craig, here's the rundown of my situation. I was dating a guy for 6 months. It was going really good, or so I thought. After the first 3 months of just hanging out and hooking up, I started to really think we might have a future together. During the 4th month, I planned a weekend getaway. I had everything planned out and ready to go. It was a great little getaway. He said he had never had anyone do anything like that for him. I would occasionally bring him lunch at work. I was really trying to make him happy. I introduced him to my family around the 5th month. He came to several family gatherings. I started to think it was odd though, when at that point I hadn't met any of his family. That is odd. He had a family birthday party for his mother, and he didn't invite me. He said he wasn't ready yet. I thought it was a little odd, but I didn't say anything. Then he had a friend's wedding to attend, and he didn't bring me. I thought it was a little odd, but he said maybe next time." Was he waiting for the divorce? You can go to the second marriage. During the last month, his company had some downsizing and they cut his position. I helped him pay a few of his bills and I said I was happy to do it. About 2 weeks later, he broke up with me. He said he didn't see us going anywhere. I was shocked. I thought I was going to marry him. It even slipped out when he broke up with me. He looked at me and said, "You thought I wanted to marry you? I never even told you I loved you." Ouch. Wow. So, that's tough. I could see this girl was really invested in him. She was doing a lot for him. She really thought it was going along well. Sounds like she was probably overlooking the red flags and overlooking his true investment in the relationship. And that can happen, when we start dating somebody. We get all these amazing chemicals released into our brain. We start to feel amazing. We start to overlook the red flags. It sounds like that was really going on here. And I can empathize because you were really invested and you were trying really hard. But she was doing all the investing in the relationship. So the more she invested, the more she cared about him. And this actually happens a lot. If you become emotionally invested in someone, then you care about them more and you care about the outcome more. I actually am coaching a guy right now who's really stuck in a disaster relationship. And I keep trying to show him the red flags and explain to him that the girl that he's absolutely obsessed about isn't a normal, healthy, emotionally available woman. This woman had severe trauma, severe attachment wounds. She is constantly manipulating things. She's in denial. It's crazy because they've been together in the relationship for a year and they haven't even consummated the relationship. What? They're not even together. They broke up like a year ago and he's still focused on this girl. I mean, he's really lying to himself about the current situation because he is continually invested in her, thinking about her, wondering about her, wondering what he can do to get her back. And he keeps replaying the things in his mind, except it's all distortion. It's all a distorted reality of what's actually happened. And I keep trying to point out reality to him that this woman was not good for him. She's not good for anybody. And that's the thing, is he's so invested in her. He's invested in the idea of her, and so he's just so committed to the resolution, I mean, and just trying to make it work one more time. He thinks he can logically talk to this girl and get her back, and that's simply not going to work. And it's especially not going to work in her situation because she's not functioning at any kind of level to make a relationship work. The only time their relationship was any good, for this particular case, was in the very, very beginning when she was heavily pursuing him and everything was the way she wanted and she created the reality of the relationship. But what he doesn't see is that it was only her fantasy projection onto him. And the minute that he had his own set of needs and desires from her, she wanted nothing to do with it, right? So he is continually invested, yet she's not even invested enough to make love to him. And so I really empathize for this guy because I can understand what he's going through. But at some point, you have to say, this is a terrible investment. I gotta get out. It's like those people that invest in a stock and they know it's going to crash and they know the stock is going to go into bankruptcy, they still think, I can hold on, as opposed to getting out when they can. So, back to this situation here. She's invested in this guy, and she's doing all these things, taking him away for the weekend, taking him lunch at work, and bringing him to family events. And so she's invested and he isn't. I mean, he didn't even say he loved her. That's rough. You have to have both people invested in a relationship for it to work. You have to. You simply can't have somebody, one person doing all the investing and the other person does nothing and then have it work out. It has to be two people willing to make it work, because it's not going to be easy. Relationships are not easy, and most of us don't have the skills to make it work, and that's why I'm here. That's why I put out these videos Monday through Friday, is to help you guys learn to not only re-attract your ex, but to have the skills to make your relationship amazing, okay? That's what I'm here for. And you guys that are desperate to get your ex back, you need a wake-up call. Okay? Yes, you can follow my strategies and re-attract your ex. But if you're not ready, if you don't have the skills to make it work again, if you don't know your attachment style, their attachment style, why the relationship didn't work, the amount of closeness or distance they need, how to communicate, how to be your Superman, how to be the mountain, if you don't know how to do all those things, she's going to wind up losing interest, and you're going to wind up fighting over the same things over and over again because you didn't figure out the root of the problem. That's why I'm here, guys. That's why I do the coaching. If you're looking for simple answers on how to get your ex back, you're going to be in for a sad surprise, even if you get her back. You got to do the work. You have to do the work on yourself while you're not with your ex. Okay? Alright, so let me get back. I got on a little bit of a tangent, but I gotta be honest with you guys, and I gotta say things like it is in order to help, clarify things for you. Alright, So if you think about this, when someone has to work for something, they value it more. If you have to work really hard to save up for a new car or a new house, you're going to value it and you're going to take care of it. And this is the same principle. If you have a partner that works hard on communicating with you or is committed to you and meeting your needs, they're going to invest in you and the relationship. And I see this all the time. A situation where like one person has done all the work and the other person is just kind of going with the flow, and they're in or they're out. They don't really care. They're not really committed. And I do kind of think that it happens more when you're dating somebody that has an avoidant attachment style. In other words, you may have an anxious attachment style, so you're constantly protecting the relationship, investing in it, and working on it so they don't leave you. And then this person with an avoidant attachment style is just kind of there. And so because they're distant, I think what's going on is the person with the anxious attachment style is projecting and fantasizing onto this avoidant person. Because they have so much time to think about them and fantasize about them, that the reality of the real person doesn't conflict with the fantasy. I know that's an abstract. I'm going to try and explain it a little bit more, okay? So, if I have a person, let's say for me, an example, okay? Let's say I'm dating a girl, and she doesn't call me that much, and I don't see her that much. The further that she's away from me, the more I'm just going to project my fantasy about who she is. Okay? Now, the more I spend time with that person one-on-one, the more I'm going to see the real person that they are, and if they do have all those qualities, because they might not. Okay? I think a lot of times it's a projection of your fantasies, wishes, onto a person who's not actually there. It's easy to project onto something or somebody when you don't really know them that well. And the more unmet needs you've had, the more childhood wounds you've had, the more you're going to live inside this fantasy and project onto that person. Got it? Okay. Alright, so the idea of chasing someone. This is kind of along those lines too. If you reach out to somebody and extend an invitation to them, like you text them and ask them on a date, you want them to be excited. You want them to be looking forward to it. You don't want to be chasing after a girl that you're excited about them and they're not excited about you. Or ladies, you don't want to be excited about a guy who's not really putting forth any effort into getting to know you or, spending time with you. In other words, like, those are the Netflix and chill guys, okay? If a guy is trying to get you to Netflix and chill on the first date, he's using you as an object, right? He's not trying to get to know you as a person, ladies. You have to understand this. He's just using you for his sexual gratification. Think about that. He's not investing in you. And you ladies need to start making a guy invest in you if you're looking for a long-term committed relationship. If you just want to have sex and hook up, hey, you're an adult. Go do whatever makes you happy. I don't care. But my point is that if you're looking for a relationship and you're looking for somebody to value you, then they need to invest in you. Don't settle for a Netflix and chill on your first or second date. Maybe, your third date or your fourth date, that's up to you. But I would, at least make sure you're going out for a couple drinks or getting a coffee or going to do something fun that he's actually investing, okay? So, if you're, guys, if you're spending your time chasing after a girl and you're constantly blowing up her phone, she's not gonna really value you. She's not really invested in you. You're invested in her. Alright, I got a couple more points here. People value what is scarce and what is valued by others. So, if you think about that, people value what is scarce and what is valued by others. So, if you're constantly chasing a girl, she's not going to think you're very valuable. She's not going to think you have many other options. She's not going to think many other women desire you because you're constantly chasing her and you're up her butt. Okay? If you want to act like a catch, okay? And a catch does not chase after anybody, right? Now, that doesn't mean you don't court a woman. Of course, you want to court a woman properly. There's a big difference there. But, you don't want to chase them. Think about this. If you're a catch, let's say you're the King of England. You think the King of England has to chase women? No, because he's the prize. And he acts like the prize. And you may not be the King of England, but you can be a prize. Okay? And you want to act like it. So, make sure someone is invested with you. And if they break up with you, they are no longer invested in you. That's the way you got to look at it. If they've broken up with you, they are no longer invested in them, and you don't want to keep investing in them because they are no longer invested in you. It's like paying your phone bill. You don't pay the bill, they cut off your service. They don't pay the bill by investing in you, you cut off the service. Okay? Got that? Now, the best thing you can do in your life is invest in yourself. So, that's it for this video. If you want to get my help personally, go to my website, askcraig.net. In the top right-hand corner, it says Schedule a Coaching. You can do email coaching with me or Skype coaching with me. That's why I'm here. If you like this video, put a like on there so I know you enjoyed it and want to see future videos about it. Leave your comments below. I do try and get in there when I can. And I'm Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.